Should we sit up?
All right. No, you're good. You're good. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of Think Business Live. And this is probably my favorite interview I've ever done because my son is part of the interview with entrepreneurs and his buddies, Joey Schwartz and Jake Chernow, two different companies, but we're going to talk, just business and your entrepreneurial spirit, which, my parents, Jacob's grandparents, always raised me that, you can learn something from people older and younger than you. And your guys' generation is really unbelievable, the way that you can learn, you read, you execute, you research, and you just kind of like have no fear and build. So I'm loving this whole week of talking to young entrepreneurs. But just to kind of set the stage, we got my 17-year-old son, Jacob Dwoskin, talking about his tennis academy, and Joey Schwartz and Jake Chernow talking about Team Beham Club. Camp club, right?
Club.
Right. Which is your day camp that you guys created. So I don't want anyone to think I have nepotism. So Jacob Dwoskin, we'll start with Joey and Jake Chernow. Fellas, talk up a little bit about how your business came about, because I'm assuming you had plans for the summer,
right?
And those got shifted. And so, how did you get your company going?
So I was supposed to go to Israel this summer with Dwoskin, but then it got canceled. So we were thinking on the fly, and me and Isaiah Rubin, I don't know if you know Isaiah Rubin, we were counselors. I was counselor at Tanuga, and he was a counselor at Tamaqua. And we were like, what if we brought, a little day camp to Birmingham? I feel like a lot of kids would come and, be in it because their parents want them out of the house. So we were like, all right, let's try it. So then I called Joey up and we were like, let's go, let's try it. We're going to start this camp. And then it just all started going from there. And then it was.
And we've all, the three of us and Isaiah, we've loved sports and played sports our whole lives. And we just wanted to play sports with these younger kids who also love sports as well. And for the past 2 days, Monday and today, it's been so much fun. These kids they've had a great time.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to dive in a little bit more, but I want to move over to Jacob, because, to me, what's so great, what I'm hearing all week and is you guys, all these young entrepreneurs are finding what they love to do and then finding a way to actually make money doing it, which is so great. Jacob, I know a lot about you, but tell everybody a little bit how you started and why you started your tennis academy.
So I started last year giving tennis lessons, but I only had one client, and it was just kind of like for fun. Like I didn't really know what I was doing, and I knew how to teach, but I didn't do it a lot. And then this year I really wanted to help kids learn how to play tennis, and I posted on this thing called Next Door Huntington Woods, which everyone in Huntington Woods can see. So then a lot of people started texting me, and then a lot of people, and then that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. And what I'm hearing both you guys, all of you say is just how you pick something that you love to do, and B, you get to help people.
Yeah.
So, to me, one of the most important things about any business, any career, anything you do is fulfillment. And so I think a lot of people are missing that, right? The older generations, I think, miss that element of it. And so what advice would you give people who are, I know you may be 17, but you still have a lot of wisdom in you. How great does it feel to do what you love? And what advice would you give to people who aren't in a place where they're doing what they love?
I would pretty much just say, go at it. If you're really passionate about something,
don't be afraid.
Pedal to the metal. Get going, and it'll work out eventually. If it doesn't work out at first, then you'll try again until it does.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Just keep going.
Jacob, how about you?
Kind of like Jake, but whenever I work, it makes my day. It makes me feel better about myself. And I think it just makes me in a better mood. So I feel like if you just go and try to do what you do, it'll make you in a better mood.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's the self-fulfillment you get, I think, is great. Let's talk about marketing for a few fellas, because there's the starting of a company, and today technology. Jacob, you're talking about Next Door and how you grew your business. But technology today, you can get so much exposure so quickly, and just have an idea, and then overnight really have a business that you get paid for. Talk a little bit about marketing and how you utilize social media to really grow your presence.
So my next door neighbor's son is in the camp, and we didn't actually really start like social media to what's it called? Advertise. So she just gave me all these different numbers, and the three of us would just send out text messages, and we made this flyer on Canva, and we would just send them out, and parents responded. I feel like it's really easy to get in contact with people now through text messages and call and stuff like that.
It was also really helpful for us that we knew some of the parents of the kids. But honestly, if you're really starting a business, whatever business, and you would like help from parents or kids, it's really helpful, but you never know what you're going to get with them. But I'm just saying it's always helpful to
I know what you're saying.
I know what you're trying to say. But you know what? What's also pretty amazing is that, what Canva can do is what people would pay tens of thousands of dollars for,
right?
20 years ago for an agency to do,
right?
And so we can do it in a snap. Jacob, how about you? I know you've used Nextdoor, and it's where
so I started with Nextdoor, and then like a lot of like the Huntington Woods parents texted me, and then I texted a lot of my family friends like that have younger siblings and younger kids, and then they would text their friends, and then kind of like the text word came like that spread through word, and then I just got a lot of texts from Nextdoor, and I would reach out so on Nextdoor you can post like my kid needs tennis lessons, and I'd comment on like almost like every single post I saw, just to like reach out and just to see if they needed me, even if other people responded.
It's great. I love it. And so I want to talk a little bit about just how fulfilling it is just to help these kids and be with these kids and play with these kids and be role models for these kids. And, talk a little bit about that, because the impact you're having for all of them, is so big. I think your camp is for 9 to 11-year-olds, or 8
to 11.
I mean, give or take.
Right.
But how, you're making such a great impact and imprint in their lives. Probably you don't realize how much.
Mm-hmm.
So just talk a little bit about that. What's that like, Jake?
So at the end of the day, on Monday, the first day of camp, a bunch of kids came up to Jake and I and Isaiah, and they said 10 out of 10. I'm so excited. I want to stay longer. And it really made us like really happy. And we were just so excited for Wednesday. And now after today, we're so excited for Friday.
I think it's on a bigger scale of how beneficial it is to these kids, because they were cooped up in their houses for 2 months.
Yeah.
And with the quarantine, and I feel like now they get a chance to be with other kids in a safe social distancing environment, have a good time playing sports, hang out with their friends, hang out with older kids. I mean, it's cool. I really think that we're doing a really good service to these kids, and I hope they're enjoying it.
Yeah. Like you said, like being outside, playing sports, being active, playing with other kids.
Right.
Jacob, how about you with teaching tennis? I know
I really like teaching the younger kids, because I feel like it's fun for them, like to have like a high schooler teach them tennis, and like a lot of the kids, like when I see them smile, like it just makes my day, because like I know they're having a good time.
Yeah.
And like one of the kids, like they didn't really know if they want to do lessons, the group lesson, and like now they're doing it like two days a week. So like that made me feel good about myself, that they like keep on wanting to do it.
Yeah, it's great. I'm proud of you guys for doing what you're doing. I mean, I know you're only 17 and you're young adults, but what you're learning and just how you articulate yourselves is so impressive. I want to talk about some of the things you're learning when it comes to just communicating with parents, right? Because, that's an art, and your generation is so used to technology and texting and this, and, what have you learned about just communicating effectively with parents?
I think that it's pretty straightforward. Like, they want to be as cooperative as possible, and we want to get our point across. So I feel like it's really easy for them to soak up what we're trying to say. I mean,
obviously they're going to have questions, make sure everyone's safe, but I agree.
At the end of the day, we pretty much just text them what we're feeling, and they text us back if they're feeling it. If not, like, we'll try to make changes. And I feel like I've really gotten to know parents on a deeper level just through contacting them about camp, which is really cool. And it's inspiring to us that like we can get to know parents just by texting them.
Yeah. Well, and you know what, as a parent, when you have somebody who's doing something for your kid,
Right.
there's just so much respect that's attached to that.
Right.
You're giving their kid memories and
Right.
things. Jacob, how about you?
Kind of like what Jake and Joey were saying. How about like really straightforward? Like when I text the parents to like what court they want to go to, like what city, because I teach kids from like different cities. I got to be like as specific as possible and respond like really quickly, like in case like because I have a lot of wait 1 sec, I can't think of the word. Like, so I have like a lot of clients and it's, like the days are kind of booked in the morning. So I have to like figure out who to text and like text them right away to make sure like it's not like fumbling like the dates and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of organization that you guys got to do.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. What are you learning about business? Jacob, we'll start with you. What are you learning? What are some of the things that you're learning about business that you?
That organization is a really big like thing. Like before I wasn't really organized, and now I've like organized all my dates, which I usually did not do. And like, it's a lot. Like you gotta be really good at organizing to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just want to, the more, if you could learn some of these things now, like getting organized, I mean, those are qualities. I mean, when I coach people, one of the biggest issues that they have is the older they get, they can't figure out how to organize themselves. So that's an amazing thing to learn when you're young.
I have very little experience in business. I really do. I haven't taken many business classes. So this is like kind of a first for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like organizational skills are insanely important when it comes to running a business. And I think just having like a solid structure, like having a good way to get things across to the kids, to the parents, I think it makes them feel like safe and comfortable. And then when they feel comfortable, they can let loose and have a better time. Like if they're more uptight, I feel like.
Yeah.
So what we did is that last Friday, because Monday was our first day of camp, we made a schedule of what we're going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So adding on to Jacob, yeah, we were really organized for this week, and it's great.
It's paid off. It's paid off.
Good. I love it, guys. So so before we get into more questions, tell everybody a little bit about the camp. So like, what's the structure? Do you have additional sessions coming up? Like, tell everybody a little bit about the camp.
Right. So you sign up in 2-week sessions. So you'd sign up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the first week, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the next week. You pay up front so we can just keep it in order. And then, how it works is it's 10 to 2. There's 2 activities in a day. So we'll do a morning breakdown in the morning, 10 minutes, whatever, just see how the kids are feeling today. How was their night? See what they want to do in the day. Then we do a group stretch. Different kid leads a stretch every day. They've been really doing a good job. Then we have first activity, which is fun. We normally split them up. Some kids want to play basketball, they play basketball, or some kids want to play wiffle ball, they play wiffle ball. And then we got lunch. Bring your own lunch. It's very sanitary. Make them wash their hands. They're doing a lot of disinfecting. Mm-hmm. Don't worry, we're on top of it. And then we got activity 2, which is shorter than activity 1. And, I think the kids really enjoy activity 2 because, they've had lunch, they've eaten, they're ready to go. And, it's just a good time.
Yeah.
And we swim for the last hour. So we're lifeguards. So, we keep an eye on them and they swim and they have a good time. They love the pool. They all do.
Yeah.
And then we get them ready for drop off or pickup. I mean.
Yeah. That sounds like a packed day.
I'm exhausted.
That sounds fun. So if somebody wants to sign up for the next session, what do they do?
So they contact me or they contact Joey or Isaiah, and then we try to get them in for the next session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. And Jacob, take us through one of your lessons.
So usually with the younger kids, like 6 to 10, I'll just like do a mini warm up in like the first 4 boxes. Like I'll just rally with them to see like how they're hitting, like what they can do, and like if they can hit it over the net or not. And then I'll usually just feed them balls, forehands and backhands. And then after that, it just depends on what they need to work on.
I love it. I love the coaching, the training, the everything that you guys are doing. And so let me ask you this. So, there's people out there who have ideas and who have drive, but they can't execute, right? It doesn't matter what the age, whether you're 14, 15. I interviewed Drew Lash. I don't know if you guys know Drew Lash. He's 14. He started a business when he was 12. So I interviewed him earlier today. And so we were asking him I was asking him the same question, right? There's will, there's drive, and then there's just consistent execution, which is really, really difficult to do. Easy for you boys because you're in alignment with what you're doing. But if you're giving advice to someone right now who's your age or older, it doesn't matter, it's universal advice, whether you're your age, 20, 30, 40, 60. Jacob and I just golfed the other day with a guy who was 61, and he started his own business when he was 60 a year ago.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give people on how to kind of get started with the planning process to start your own business?
So I really think that you should start a business that you are passionate about. Mm-hmm. So we're passionate about sports and with kids, and I know Jake was passionate about tennis. So that's really my number one thing. And if you're passionate about something, you'll be happy, and you'll be happy with the business going forward.
I think the first step is to reach out to someone you know that can seriously help you, like whether it be you or a parent or a grandpa or someone you know that can talk you through how to start it.
Yeah.
Like that's what we did. I talked to my dad and I talked to my mom and other parents and just they'll help you organize it. They want to help you.
Yeah.
They want you to be successful. So reach out. Don't just keep it closed. Reach out, because I feel like that'll help you the best.
You know, one of the things I see is a universal issue for many people is they don't, Jake, ask for help. So right. I appreciate that, because that gets in a lot of people's way. You know, the older you get, people get complacent. Their egos get to a place where they just can't ask for help. And to me, that's one of the most important things you can do all along your whole life. So both. I
think it's cool to say, yeah, I started a business in my own entirely, but 9 out of 10 times, like, you're gonna need some help. You're gonna need someone to guide you in the right direction and tell you where to go and do this and that. So would you rather have the cool thing to say, or would you rather have an actual business?
Right. Well, it goes back to too, like you can get all the feedback in the world. You still got to execute and go in and do what you do every day.
Right.
How about you? What advice would you give someone?
I kind of agree with Joey about being passionate. Like, I feel like if you're motivated to do it and you're happy to do it. Like, for me, like, it doesn't really feel like I'm working. Like, it doesn't really feel like I'm doing anything like hard. I just because I like doing it. Like, I feel like if you like doing something, then like you should be motivated to do it, and it won't be like that hard if you actually really like it.
It's true. You know, what's great. You know, they say that your generation, the Gen Z generation, is the greatest generation since the Great Generation. And I believe it, because when I talk to young entrepreneurs, young people, you know, in your age bracket, they're all doing research on YouTube and learning how to do things, and there's no shame in starting and failing and starting and succeeding and starting over and all of that. So when I look at you guys, you know, the studies show that by 2025, 75% of the global workforce will be millennials and a lot of Gen Zs, right? So that's in 5 years, you guys are going to be graduating college.
Right.
And so when you take these philosophies that you guys are talking about, doing what you love, being passionate about, where do you see it taking you post-college when you're in the, you know, when you're in the working world out of college? How do you, and maybe this is a question you can't answer and we can just kind of, you know, conceptually discuss, but how do you keep that frequency and energy as you get older?
That's I think it all comes back to passion. Like, if you're passionate about something, you'll want to do it, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like that's just how I feel. I feel if you find something you're passionate about, like Dwoskin said, it won't feel like, like Jacob Dwoskin said, it won't feel like work, right? It's just something you want to do. You want to get up every day and you want to do it. I feel like that's how you keep that energy. Is find something you're passionate about and find something that you feel like you can definitely execute on.
Yeah. You know, you're all 17 years old, but the people who watch this now, listen to it later live, listen to it on iTunes, you know, there's going to be a lot of 30 and 40 and 50 plus year olds that are listening to this thinking, you know what, that is really sage, sound advice. And because they're hearing it from 17-year-olds, it's going to resonate on a much deeper level.
Right.
So I'm very appreciative, and you know, we all kind of run at a frequency, and so the higher you can keep your frequency into the passion of what you do, and like Jacob and you said,
right,
Jake, it's always kind of staying in your passion and in alignment with what you love to do.
Right.
Then work will never feel like work because you'll always do what you love.
Right.
So let me ask you guys a question. So you're starting this business. High school's around the corner. You know, do you see yourselves kind of like, this is a summer camp, and Jacob, you're teaching? You know, how do you keep the entrepreneurial spirit alive? Is it something you're going to do again next summer? Is it something maybe, you know, how do you scale your business and grow it?
Well, I think the corona, the whole COVID thing sort of threw everyone through the loop. So I think that maybe we can transition from a camp, maybe to the fall or the winter, we can do like a babysitting service or like a hangout. Just come hang out with us. You know, it's dark outside, it's winter. You're not really going to go outside and shoot hoops or anything. Maybe we'll hang out inside, play Fortnite, do something, you know?
Yeah.
Like that. I feel like it's all experience, you know, like as you keep building up this experience, kids will want to come hang out with you because they feel like you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well said. Joey, how about you?
I agree. I mean, definitely the COVID-19 aspect really threw everyone off. I know I had plans for the summer. Everyone had plans for summer, and this camp really helped, and it could help in further years.
Yeah. Jacob, how about you?
When school starts, I'm probably gonna try to keep on giving tennis lessons, even though it's gonna be like a lot harder. But I'm just gonna need to like make time out of my day to do it because like I know to like make other kids happy and make them better at tennis.
Yeah.
And I'll have to try to find like indoor courts that are like public, so like I don't have to pay for the courts, and I don't know. That's just gonna be a hassle, but I think I'm gonna try and keep on doing it.
That's awesome.
What about homework, JD?
Well, Jacob will figure it out, right?
Yeah.
But what I love is the energy that you guys are talking about as far as having to, you know, in business and life, you have to pivot, you have to be nimble, you have to adapt.
Right.
You know, studies show that by the year 2030, 85% of the jobs that exist do not exist today, which means there's going to be significant change over the next decade. And so what they're talking about is that colleges are really going to start teaching more about adaptability, right? How to adapt. And right. You guys have, and I think Corona, Joey, to your point, it happened with such uncertainty. And Corona, I think, accelerated that, right? So you guys have shown the spirit of adaptability and adapting very quickly to doing something that, you know, I feel like Jacob's tennis and your guys' camp has been around for a long time. You know, you've got such, you know, just like passion for it. So my question is, how do you, you know, looking at the decade ahead as finishing high school, starting college, what does adaptability mean to you guys?
Well, touching on what you said about how 85% of jobs aren't found, I know the kids that are now coming into college now and majoring in like public health, like 10 years ago, it was a very lower major, but now it's skyrocketing. Kids doing global studies and public health. I think adaptability is really important in all aspects of life. But if we're like focusing on us, like our generation and what we're going to do, I think it's very important because we need to be able to come up with different things that we can do for our future and different career paths that we can innovate or create or whatever and just thrive in them. So I feel like being adaptable and being able to change things on the fly, and you know, I feel like that's really important, and that's something that will really benefit us.
And even before COVID-19, people had to adapt to new things to grow their business or grow whatever they're working on, even before and after, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like adapting, like if it's not like easy for you to like adapt to different changes, it's gonna be like very hard to like move on with your business. So I feel like there are like a lot of different things that happen like constantly. At least my kind of thing, I bet their camp they have like a lot of things change. Like if it rains, they have to go inside, like that type of stuff. Like if you're not good at adapting to stuff, then you gotta be quick and like go with the flow with that. Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you, Jacob. You gotta, like, your generation is more go with the flow, and that's important. And Jake, something you said earlier about just reaching out to mentors.
Right.
It's really, really critical. I'm a big believer we all need a minimum of 3.
Right.
And that keeps people kind of ahead of real time.
Right.
Not, I think people moved into COVID not having a plan B or C or D. And your generation, I think COVID will kind of imprint that. And you got to be looking at the worst scenario and just different scenarios if things happen. So,
yeah. I think mentors also help. They keep you sane. I feel like they can really create a barrier between being adaptable and being impulsive. And I feel like they can show you the right path to take in times where it's unclear.
Yeah, that's really well said. That's really well said. So my last question for you guys is, what is one piece of, what is one thing you've learned about yourself having to adapt, start your own business? You're doing so many things, you probably don't even realize how many different things you're doing. What's one thing you've learned about yourself?
One thing I've learned about myself is I don't really know. You take that. You gotta.
Well, these kids were really hyper these days, so you really have to be patient with them.
Yeah.
You really have to really know them and just
M&Ms. You gotta have M&Ms on hand. We'll only swim if we give them M&Ms, so we just pump them up with sugar. But in a serious tone, I really think that I've learned that I'm, that I can do it. That I can really set my mind to something and just go at it. And I really think that it's paid off. I'm really happy with the outcome, and we got a lot of more weeks of doing this, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
great.
Me too.
Jacob, how about you?
Also, what they said, I think I learned that I have to be patient. Like a lot of my 6-year-olds, they don't really like to listen to me. They just want to hit balls up in the air and over the fence. So I have to be very patient. I can't be stern with them. I have to make it fun. Tell them what to do in a fun way so they'll listen. And yeah, that's what I've learned so far.
Great. It's great. Well, guys, tell everybody real quickly before we end how they can get a hold of you. Jacob, how can people get a hold of you?
You can look up my Jacob Dwoskin on Nextdoor, Huntington Woods, or my cell phone 248-595-9769.
All right.
You can get a hold of me.
For us, we have an Instagram. It's Team Beham Club. If you're on Instagram, you can DM us or comment on one of our photos. And then my phone number is 248-878-0483.
Mine is 917-603-5206.
And then Isaiah's, we can post it and people can find it.
Well, no, thanks. Guys, I want to thank you for your time today. You guys were awesome. You're inspiring. I'm proud of all of you. I appreciate your guys' energy. I appreciate the knowledge that you shared today about just doing it, jumping in, pivoting, adapting, learning patience, organizational skills. Keep on doing what you're doing. Your generation is going to continually make the world a better place. And I'm happy and excited for you guys that you have started and built prosperous businesses and everything that you're learning. If there's anything, of course, Jacob, I'm always here for you. But fellas, if you ever need anything, of course, reach out to me. And it's special for me to be able to interview my son, who's doing amazing things, who's an amazing tennis player, and kills me every time we play.
He's an animal.
He's great. And Joey, I know you. I newly know you, but Jake, I've known you for a long, long time. Yeah. And it's just impressive watching you guys grow and do things. And I'm just going to end with this. Living your passion. I wish you. A life of always living in your passion, so nothing ever feels like work. So congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hold on 2 seconds, but thanks.
Okay.